Oh, look, I can see you twice. Looks like you're logged in twice. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, welcome everybody. We're so happy to have you. Hello, welcome from Calgary and Arkansas. Looks like everybody's raining all the way across the country. I'm seeing in the chat box. But we have some really great speakers with us today. We have Natalie, now tell me if I'm saying this right. Is it Yamamoto?
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. And Melissa Taeu. So Natalie both of them are joining us from Hawaii. And Natalie is a mother of 4 and a neonatal care nurse in Hawaii. And Melissa is a doTERRA Blue Diamond, owner of Naturally Pure Mom and a mother of 7. And today, if you haven't guessed, our topic is going to be all about children. And I feel like these are the perfect people to be speaking on this topic. And so we're going to kind of some questions, and if you have questions, anything about children and essential oils, go ahead and drop it in the chat box and we'll get up to your questions in addition to the ones that we have prepared. So Natalie and Melissa, maybe go ahead and introduce yourselves a little bit, and then we'll just kind of jump in and ask some questions.
Okay, go ahead, Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I have 4 kids. They're ranging from a newborn, just had a baby, a newborn to age 11. So those are my kids. I've been a nurse for over 10 years, primarily in neonatal intensive care. So I do a lot of premature babies and newborns who need special care. That's me, and I love to play tennis.
Oh, awesome. My husband loves tennis too. It's hard to find people that play tennis.
Yes.
Melissa,
so my kids are joining me today. I have 7 kids, like Megan said, and we grew up in Hawaii, and I went to school for exercise science and health. I have a master's degree in kinesiology. I worked as a PE teacher for a while, but I really just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I've been a stay-at-home mom since I had my first daughter, and been building doTERRA for about 9 years now, and we love it. It's fun.
Awesome, thank you. So with both your personal and professional experience, I'd love to ask first off with, regards to essential oils, what would you say are some safety precautions that we should use when using essential oils with kids? I guess first of all, is it even okay to use essential oils with kids? And tell us what that looks like.
Yes, essential oils are a lifesaver with my kids. So some safety precautions that you will take. Number 1 is learning dilution. So you're going to dilute with a vegetable, plant-based, organic, hopefully, oil. So my favorites are coconut oil and jojoba. Those are probably my top 2 favorites, but you can use many others. And so you want to dilute. So you can start with a couple drops in like a 10 ml vial and then go upwards from there. So the younger the child is, the more dilution you'll need. Just like elderly will need more dilution because their skin is thinner. So dilution is probably the first step of safety. And you can find some great guidelines online of dilution ratios. But usually you start with heavier dilution when they're younger. Another safety precaution is I keep them a little bit higher, the oils. My little ones that are older will have their own set of roller bottles that they use consistently, and that's great too. But for the little ones, just keep it up so they just don't get into it. I mean, I love essential oils because when they're in my home, they're less scary to me than like toxic chemicals or products that can be under the cabinet. So they don't scare me that much. But I do keep them up just because if you get it in your eyes, you want to keep them out of their eyes, in their nose, in their ears. That's kind of general safety. And so they might touch it and then get it into their eyes. And then if that happens, you would wash it out with coconut oil. An oil will cleanse an oil. So that's kind of another safety tip. I love to start with some of the milder oils for kids. So frankincense, lavender, melaleuca diluted are one of my favorites to start with. Certain oils such as peppermint, ginger, eucalyptus, black pepper, you want to dilute. Make sure you dilute. Oregano, those are certain oils that you really want to dilute. And then one of my favorite uses too on kids is you don't necessarily you can either do it aromatically. So I love my diffuser going constantly with my kids. When my kids are sick, the diffuser is constantly going. Another great tip is my son was taking a test. And so just to help him during the test, I had peppermint on his clothes. So sometimes you can put it on their clothes versus their skin. And so that really helped him during that period of time. And also jewelry. So there's kids' jewelry, the lava bead bracelets. Those are some great ways that I use essential oils with my kids.
I love that. I love that you said that your teens have ones that you've made specifically for them that they just keep for them. In the off chance that, let's say, a reaction did occur, or that your kids did get into your essential oils and accidentally rubbed their eyes, what would you do, or what have you done if you have experienced that, either of you?
Yeah, go ahead, Melissa.
So that's happened quite a few times when they touch the oil and then they touch their eyes and they're screaming and the oil's in their eyes. So I think the easiest thing that happens is just to put the fraction of coconut oil on their eyes. Sometimes they just like to drop it right over the eye and rub it, put a paper towel over it and wipe it off. We've had essential oils burn their skin if it's too hot, like oregano or On Guard. If it's not diluted enough, then just rub the coconut oil on it until it stops burning.
So would you say to put water on it, or what would you say about that?
So absolutely don't put water on it right away, since oils and waters don't mix, right? It's going to push the oils deeper and faster and harder. It's going to hurt more. So dilute with the coconut oil first, and then you can wash it with soap and water afterwards.
Perfect. Yeah, I remember when I was a newbie with essential oils, and I didn't even know that. And I think it was actually on my abdomen, and it kind of started burning because I had a really hot oil there, and I didn't know not to put water on it, and it really burned. And so I think that's a good thing to know for kids, because sometimes they just get into it. You put it in a high cupboard, and my kids will climb up the cupboard sometimes. But yeah, I think it's good to make sure that they, that the coconut oil versus the water and how that can actually minimize reaction. I would actually really like to hear a little bit about so your favorite oils. I know that Natalie shared a few that are good with kids. What are your favorite go-to oils that you always have on hands with your kids, whether you're on the go or at home?
So I always have a little pouch with my oils in it. And I would say the top 10 oils, the Family Physician Kit, those are always in my oil bag. We use On Guard a lot, lavender, On Guard, to keep them healthy from any germs. Sometimes that becomes our hand sanitizer, with some coconut oil. We use lavender, especially during the summer when there's a lot of mosquitoes or campfires, or they get a little burn. Lavender is great for that, or even sunburns. We like Maluka, and that's really great for, they're going to fall and cut themselves in scrapes and ear infections, different things where Maluka will help support their body that way. We also like to use, we used to use Breathe a lot when they're sick or have respiratory issues. And I would say lately we've been using a lot of Rose. That's one of our favorite ones. We like to use that, kind of like Maluka, the same for skin. And it's just really calming oil for them. And then all the kids' oils. I love all the kids' oils. We use Stronger a lot for their immune system because they're so small. On Guard's a little bit strong for that. So Stronger is really great for that. And we use Rescuer, which is great for muscle pain. They have a lot of growing pains or playing sports and their legs are aching or headaches. This is really great for that. And then Thinker. We like to use Thinker, especially during school, during sports activities, just to get their mind focused and ready for what they're doing. So we use a lot of oils, but those are some of the top ones that we use.
That's awesome. I know there's some specific ones that I won't go without, and Digestin seems to be one that I always have with my kids, because I feel like either they're some sort of stomach issue is always experiencing. Seems like that's the go-to. It seems I can always rely on it. It's one of those consistently reliable oils that I always have, and if I find out that I'm out of it, I have to immediately order more. The same with On Guard. That's awesome. Natalie, do you have any others that you use consistently with your kids?
Yes, I use a lot of the same ones as Melissa, but I also use a lot of emotional oils with my kids.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of anxious feelings at my house. So I love my kids actually ask for peace or balance or serenity. Serenity is a big one in our house. We diffuse that at night along with frankincense and copaiba. So that's my favorite at nighttime blend that I think goes every night for a restful night's sleep. Also digestion. Digestion's been a lifesaver time and again. So we can't go anywhere without digestion. And then lavender. I mean, lavender, we live in a rainy area, so we get a lot of the bites. And so my little girls will always ask for lavender by name. They'll say, can I have my lavender?
Oh.
So I'll make them like their own little roller, you know. They're old enough, they're not going to put this in their mouth.
Yeah.
And they have their own little roller of lavender and they do all their bites. So
I love that. I love that you said that they actually are asking for it now. Has there ever been a time when your kids didn't want you to put oils on them, and how did you overcome that? Like maybe when you first started using essential oils, or maybe you just have that one kid that's like, I don't want that. How do you overcome that?
I had one experience when my son, he would be putting Intune on him, and then one other kid made a comment like, "What's that smell?" You know, he's like, "Oh." And then you realize, you know, that like young boy who's really aware of like other kids saying things. So after that, he was like, "I don't know, Mom, about that." I love Thinker came out. I think Thinker is like a fresher smell, so he kind of prefers that. So I think being aware of his needs, he really needed a Thinker focused oil. So now his Thinker is a go-to. So give him substitutes. Like if one smell is not conducive to their needs, you can offer a different one. So that's kind of what I do. So and I think kids are very intuitive. So what the smells that they're attracted to, like my daughter, she asked for Peace by name. That's what she's really drawn to. I think they're intuitive to their own body and their own healing. So giving them that freedom and autonomy to pick oils and communicate that with you. This one isn't really addressing my needs, and so Thinker was a good alternative to Intune for my son.
It's interesting that you say that. I think I remember hearing that first at convention when someone said not all oils smell the same to different people. Some are repulsive to some people, and I had that experience with my daughter the other morning, where I was diffusing. I think it was Elevation, which is my very favorite oil to diffuse, and she was sitting there at breakfast. She was like, "Mom, my cereal tastes funny, and I'm smelling a weird smell, and I don't know what it is." And to me, it was uplifting and it was encouraging, but I think she knew instinctively that she didn't need that oil right then. And I think your body, like you said, you're attracted to the oil that your body maybe needs at that moment or could support from. And I think her body just didn't need that elevation. And so I think that's a good idea, sort of saying, which one of these smells good to you? Which one of these would you like to use today? And they'll push away the ones like, no, not that one, but yeah, that one. And your body just sort of knows sometimes. Cool. Anything that you're thinking, Melissa? You're shaking your head like
I have a similar situation story as Natalie. The same with Intune. I had a daughter that was wearing it at school, and they were saying that she was stinky. So we switched to a Thinker as well. But I think my kids, we've been using oils for 9 years, so they basically grew up with oils. So they're not really at a point where they're not newly introduced to oils. They're not turning away any oils. They kind of grew up with oils. So they know what they do and that they help them, so they don't really complain or fight oils.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember when with my kids being, especially the super, super little, like maybe your newborn, Natalie, the babies, and wanting so much to use the oils with them, because there's not a lot you really can use, with anything with babies. And I remember at first when I had my first son feeling a little bit anxious, not knowing what was safe or what I could even use. And especially the fear of that their hands are always coming pierced. If I put oils even behind their ears if they had a earache, I was worried they'd wipe it in their eyes. So how do you do that with a newborn, with a little baby? If you need to put oils in the back of their ears or to support, ear discomfort, how do you do that with a little baby?
So up until they're 3 months, their skin is still developing. So in that first 3 month period, you want to be especially cautious. So we do a lot of aromatic diffusing. My daughter was crying in my 11-year-old instinctively ran over and got the diffuser, set it up right by here, put Serenity in. It was like, and he told me she needs Serenity. And I was like, oh, okay. So we diffuse a lot within those first 3 months. If I'm going to put it topically, it's going to be very diluted. I like the bottoms of the feet. I know that's not going to get into their eyes or their mouth. So the bottom of their feet is probably my favorite place to start introducing oils in that stage when they're small. And that's kind of the safest place to go. And it's very effective too.
I agree. I used to put little socks on top of my baby's feet after I put the oils on sometimes, so that, you know, once they did start even being able to bend down and put their feet in their mouth, it wouldn't really affect them because the socks were on, but they were still getting the benefits of the oils. And yeah, diffusing, I think, is such a great way to get the oils for your kids. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments in the chat. I'm just going to head over here real quick and make sure I'm not missing anything. Tell me a little bit about any DIY recipes that you use with your kids. Are there ones that you know, we have all the ones that doTERRA's created, but are there ones that you specifically are like, this is one that I just create for my family on my own? Do you have anything like that?
I do. I mean, it just depends on what my kids are going through. A lot of times, like when they're younger, especially, they had ear infections. And so we would make a blend. I have one actually right here. And I just labeled it ear, but it has great oils in it for their ears. So it has lavender, basil, frankincense, melaleuca, and sometimes purifier, I said frankincense. And so what we do is just spray this around their ear and then on a cotton ball and put it in their ear. Don't put the oils in their ear, obviously, just rub it around and then rub it down their neck. And that's how we use this oil. So this is one of our favorite ones, like any ear issues, especially with swimming, they get swimmer's ears, things like that. It's already made really easy. This is a new one, but usually we have like the flu balm. You've probably heard of the flu balm, like melaleuca, on guard, frankincense, lemon, different oils that are really great for their immune system. And then I recently learned from another oil mom that she puts the oils from Boyd Truman's infectious disease protocol into one bottle. So I labeled it ID, which is infectious disease. And this is what I put on them for like down their spine and on their feet, just to help their immune systems to fight anything that's happening. And I really love this one so far. So, and then I like Immortelle a lot, and that's great for like if they bump their head, or especially after having a baby. This is really great to spray where you need it. So just depending what your family needs, you can make like spray bottles or roller bottles.
How did you do the Immortelle one in a spray bottle? Did you just open it up and then dump it into a spray bottle and dilute it with water? What did you do?
I dilute it with coconut oil and then just pour it in like maybe half a bottle Immortelle and then add coconut oil.
Cool. We have a few questions in the chat. Tori asks, what is the infectious disease protocol? Is it find?
If you search Boyd Truman's Symphony of the Cells, you can order his book and it will have that there. I can post it in the comments later of what oils are included in that.
That would be great, yeah. I'll post some things afterwards too, and we'll send this in recording. Natalie, do you have any recipes that you use just that are different than the ones that are sold from the?
Yes, we do something called the Hulk blend. So it's usually when any child is turning into the Hulk. So we'll combine balance with some type of citrus and it'll make it green. So that's why we call it the Hulk blend. So it'll be balanced bergamot or citrus bliss. Those are kind of two powerful oils that we like to use in those moments when we're turning Hulk. Even I will need it for those moments. My other favorite one is we put lavender and cedarwood in a little spritz bottle, and then we'll spray it all over their linens at bedtime. And I've actually stolen that spray bottle and sprayed it all over my bed and used it all up. So it's good for me and the kids. But I just love like diving into those pillows, and then you're surrounded by the smell of like lavender and cedarwood. It's so calming and peaceful. So I realized that was really helpful in my home.
I like that. There are times when I forget to spray, this monster spray, because sometimes my kids are, they're nervous about things in their closet or under their bed. And so I come in with a spray bottle of just lavender serenity with I spray it around their house or their bedroom. And I say, oh God, they can't get here. We sprayed the special monster spray. And they started to like the smell so much that even though they've sort of grown out of the monster air stage, they want the spray still sprayed in their room because they've noticed that it helps them to sleep better, which I think is a cool extra bonus. So Rona, is it Rona or Rona? I hope I'm saying that right. Rona asks, oils for colic on tummy or bottom of feet. He's wondering, how do you use oils for colic and maybe which ones?
So I would do the Digesten, but if it's a little baby, definitely dilute it to, the ratio is like 1 drop to 2 tablespoons coconut oil, and then just apply it on their tummy and massage it, and then also in the bottoms of the feet. And I also like to use like a warm compress when using oils with my kids, just warming up a wet washcloth and then placing it over it, making sure it's not hot, but just warm, and it helps drive the oils in deeper. So that's what I would do.
I love that. We have, actually, it's funny, I have my little hot compress here right now. It's a little bag of rice. Sometimes they're bags of beans that you stick in the microwave, and I like to use that with essential oils too. Either right on the compress or on me with the compress on top. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Well, are there any other questions? If people have them, go ahead and drop them in the chat. What other advice do you have for children and kids? Anything that we haven't mentioned that you'd love to share with us, Natalie and Melissa?
Natalie, do you have something?
Yeah, I was talking to Megan Cannon, and she shared with me, she loves to use the beadlets with kids. Beadlets have a 1/4 of a drop. So those are kind of our favorite go-to, because if the On Guard will be just a little beadlet for my kids. I really like those, using those beadlets, and then even using the On Guard Plus in a diffuser. So like popping it open, putting it in your diffuser, letting it diffuse when you need that immune support. So there's so many tools that you can adapt for kids by using them. Those are kind of my little cheats that I kind of do.
I love that.
And
Yeah,
I would just say too that you want to also support their body with good nutrition and good food. And I love the vitamins that doTERRA has and their IQ Mega. And just like Natalie, like especially when I travel and I don't want my kids to get sick, I give them the On Guard beadlets. If they're older, the On Guard capsules. And we do the PB Assist. And these are yummy. They taste so good, and it really helps keep the kids sick. Like we went to Disneyland and Legoland and all these places with my 3 little ones, and they didn't get sick. And I feel like having their immune system up, like giving them probiotics and giving them On Guard, and then spraying, having On Guard spray with me everywhere I go, like it's really helped to keep their immune systems intact and safe from any yucky bugs.
Oh, that's
on the plane, spray the plane.
Yeah, I remember Callie, she told me she likes to, like when you were talking about the On Guard beadlet, or not, but On Guard Plus, she'll cut them and burst them open and put them on the bottoms of her kids' feet for extra immune system. And I love that. That's really awesome. So I had a thought as you were talking, Melissa, about the difference in, essential oils and them not all being created equal. What would you say, as a word of caution with using essential oils and making sure that they know what they're looking for when, or, just making sure that they're being safe if they're using things beyond doTERRA?
Well, I think that's the doTERRA difference. I mean, that's how doTERRA started, was because there was no essential oil company that was offering certified pure, pure therapeutic grade essential oils. And the FDA doesn't regulate essential oil purity. So it's very easy for other essential oil companies to manipulate or to adulterate their oils. And so knowing that doTERRA is 100% pure every single batch, and you can see this on their essential source, is that what it is? You can check the batch of each oil to see the purity and the potency of the oils. So not all oils are created the same. If you want a good result, then definitely stick with doTERRA. There, you can get cheap oils at Walmart or the dollar store, and those are really synthetic and do not have the same properties as a pure oil. So I would definitely stay far away from those oils and just use what we know is good and safe for our kids.
Absolutely. doTERRA is the only company that I know that actually releases the what is that called? The report on what's in every single oil that they distribute. And like I said, there's a code on the bottom of each oil, and you can type it into, is it Source to You? I think it's Source to You, where you can go and you can see, you can look at your specific oil and you can see what's in it. And they're the only people who release those results. Not other companies will. In fact, I remember at convention, it was last year or the year before, my memory is terrible. I remember they were talking about how they had an entire batch of oils that they turned away. They went to the distributors or the farmers who were growing and distilling the oil, the specific oil, and they had used plastic containers to house that specific oil. And they warned them, like, you're not going to be able to use plastic, or else it's going to show that it has contaminants when you are done distilling the oil. And sure enough, when the reports came back, it showed impurities in the oil, and they went back to those farmers and they said, sorry, we actually can't keep this oil, that even though that's a loss to us and that's a loss to you, a huge loss to doTERRA. They decided to send it away and to have it start over. They weren't going to sell that batch that had even unintended impurities because of the plastic that was holding those oils. Anyway, I just think that's really incredible that doTERRA would do that to protect us as consumers that way. So if you are using other oils, make sure that you do so safely. Know exactly what is in each bottle, because it is really not all the same and regulated and throughout. Not all oils are regulated. So awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. We're going to take a quick pause, and we're going to switch over to our business training. So I'll go ahead and get this streamed over to our business page, and we'll get started again with Natalie and Melissa here in just a moment. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.